Hello, my name is Andrew. Imagine a day where the sun's out and it's shining really bright, but you can't even see it very well. Not because there are clouds obstructing the sunlight or some object in the way, it's air pollution. If you take a look at my first image, you can see that the sky is so clouded over by all this air pollution from these cars, and the cars have to have their headlights on just to see where they're going. This is a problem in lots of countries such as Beijing. In fact, a reporter named Celia Hatton with the BBC News reported that in Beijing the air pollution is so polluted it's darkened the sky. A recent study shows that even breathing this kind of air for an hour can reduce a person's life expectancy by 20 minutes. Hatton, 2015. As you can see, this problem is drastic. This is in the Beijing area, but how long before it becomes worldwide? How long before Seattle looks like that? Millions die globally each year, and it's becoming one of the world's deadliest problems, arguably. So, with air pollution threatening everyone, not any group in particular, and not sparing a life, I propose that replacing vehicle use with bicycle use would be the best solution. Not all at once, just little bits of here and there. First, I will discuss impacts of air pollution. In the Seattle area alone, it's a growing problem. According to Seattle Post-Intelligencer, Seattle's air quality is among the worst in the nation. Guevara, 2019. So not only is the Seattle area getting worse and becoming a bigger problem with air pollution, it's among the worst in the nation. Millions die each year of stroke, cancer, heart disease, and lung problems, and those are just causes from air pollution. With people who are already at risk, such as people with asthma, people with previous cardiovascular disease, etc., those groups are more likely to experience drastic effects from air pollution. That can be loved ones, such as maybe your grandma or your grandpa. Even they're at higher risk. Ignoring the problem is only contributing to making it worse, and it's, as you can see, becoming a worse problem in the Seattle area specifically. It's arguably the world's greatest single environmental health risk. And according to the Seattle Times, there was a study done in the Harvard Public School of Health that showed that areas with higher air pollution were linked to a greater risk of death and hospitalization from COVID-19. So in areas that are already experiencing higher air pollution, such as the Seattle area, there's also a link that this COVID-19 pandemic is worse in those areas. With pre-existing issues of higher air pollution that causes lung issues, lung disease, heart disease, the COVID-19 pandemic symptoms are striking those people even harder than anywhere else. Air pollution does impact at-risk groups more severely, as I mentioned, but everyone is threatened. As I said, there's no group that's targeted. This could be you, this could be any family member that you have and love, and this could be all of your friends. So it's a serious problem and it needs attention. Now I'll present with you a solution to reduce air pollution. My proposed solution to the problem is to replace motor vehicle use with bicycle use. I'm not asking you to put your motor vehicles to the side. I'm not asking you to sell your cars or dump them. I'm asking you just to change a bit of time that you're using in your vehicle and replacing that with a bicycle. According to the Daily of University of Washington, a study showed that when the use of cars in Seattle halved after the pandemic, only a month later the air pollution dropped almost 15%. Edwards, 2020. This is proof that this solution is one that works, especially in the Seattle area. After the pandemic and all of the areas closed and there was no need for as much transportation because we all had to stay at home, cars were reduced in use and people were staying at home, and even though that was only half the people, the air pollution dropped greatly. That was just 30 days after this. Imagine what it would be like if everyone chose to substitute some of their time of their day. Instead of taking their car, they took their bicycle. If that does 15%, imagine how much that would do. Implementing the solution is simple, and as I mentioned, we're just trying to reduce the use of motor vehicles and increase the use of our bicycles. So when you're thinking about going to a trip that's just down the store, or you're wanting to go visit some family members that are just down the street, or you're driving to work and it's only a couple blocks away, or even school, all you need to do is take a minute to consider if your effort and time that you'd be saving in your vehicle is something that is worth it compared to a bicycle. You can take so much out of the air by just taking a few extra moments of effort and time to ride your bicycle to these places. If you are going to go on longer trips that you do require a car for, it's nice to carpool with other people, make sure that they're getting their stuff done too. That way you're cutting back on their use. And you're also getting all your trips done in one trip. So instead of taking a bunch of individual trips, if you're taking just one trip at a time and getting all your to-do list done, you'll be saving so much and you'll drastically reduce air pollution you're emitting from your vehicle. So now that I've proposed my solution, I will talk about where this may lead to. There are two possible paths that this could go down, and I want you to imagine two scenarios. In the first scenario, you're breathing heavily, your life is shorter, your life expectancy isn't as long. Every breath you breathe, you feel like you can't fully catch your breath, and you can't even see the beautiful mountains that are way far away in the distance. This is because air pollution has gotten so bad that we can't breathe safely and we can't go outside safely. In contrast, think about how fit you'll be if you're riding your bike more, right? Everyone wants that. Think about taking deep breaths of air where it's clean air. You feel healthy, you feel so much better, and you feel alive. On top of all of that, we get the luxury of seeing the beautiful mountains we get to see on occasion. So if you take a look at my second picture in my visual aids, you can see that there's some bicycles that I found, and this is from a Seattle organization that promotes the use of bicycles. And in the picture, people are riding their bikes, and it demonstrates that Seattle is a very attractive place for riding your bicycle. It's perfect. This solution couldn't be better. Finally, I'd like to recap the important takeaways of my speech. So I introduced you with the Beijing example of how bad air pollution can be. But let's take a look at the opposite, and I want to show you what it looks like if we do use this solution. In my third and last picture on my visual aids, you can see there's a nice picture of some people biking, and they're driving through a beautiful background. The skies are clear, and this is Hawaii, which is statistically one of the most clean air places. So instead of driving to the store, ride your bike. I ride my bike to the store and other places constantly, and I feel better about myself and I feel better about what I'm doing. Help contribute to lowering air pollution and minimize the number of people affected by it by riding your bike more often and driving less. Thank you.